treble on the 16th of March. How's it moving, Colette?
Well, I want everyone to know about the eastbound 401 and the problems we're seeing there. All express lanes closed, Kipling over to Weston, and it's anticipated these lanes will be closed. It is due to a collision investigation, but it's anticipated it's going to go right till 6 o'clock. So through much of our rush hour, again, that's eastbound 401, the express lanes, Kipling to Weston, all lanes closed. Also in the eastbound 401, though, in the collectors just before the 427, there we've got the two right lanes blocked, and that is due to a collision. So I want to leave you with at least a piece of good news, and that's the eastbound Gardner. We had a problem there just approaching Jameson where the left lane was blocked as the crew was dealing with things on the shoulder, and that has just been cleared out of the way.
Oppan Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style. Oppan Gangnam Style.
Remember that? Yep, that's probably the phenom from 2012. Psy's Gangnam Style brought Korean popular music, also known as K-pop, to a global audience. Even to my mother, who has seen that YouTube video. And now that the world has its eyes glued on South Korea for the Olympic Winter Games, attention is once again turning to that most beloved of the country's cultural exports. Jeff Benjamin is a K-pop columnist for Billboard. So, Jeff, I think most people are familiar with Gangnam Style, but there's some whose probably knowledge of K-pop begins and ends there. For people who don't know much beyond that, how would you even describe the genre of K-pop generally?
And, that's a great question to kick it off with because I actually struggle even calling K-pop a genre. K-pop is, at its core, it refers to South Korean pop music, but it really does, it really is a music scene in and of itself. The music blends all these different types of styles and genres. If you listen to one song, it has rapping, singing, dance breaks, all these things. But it also includes the visuals, the choreographies. I always say that you're not really a fan of K-pop music, but you're a fan of the whole K-pop scene. You hear all these different types of sounds and colors and vibes, and it brings it all just to become, you're a fan of the scene, not just the music.
You're that's your whole beat, right? The columnist for Billboard for the K-pop. Tell me about how you got into it.
Oh, yeah, and K-pop columnist, I don't even feel like that title may have not even existed a couple of years ago, but it really was thanks to the advent of YouTube and the internet making music just so accessible around the world. And it really was a couple years ago when YouTube again was starting to get popular. Just writers and other people whose music tastes that I really respected were really, really excited about Korean music, and I think it's because it was for the first time accessible to them. People could access music no matter where in the world they were, and they slowly but surely realized that it was this very high-quality package of pop music. It had great music videos, great sounds, great visuals, and everything kind of comes together that, you find one song you like, and then you check out an album, and then you check out the live performance, and you fall into this hole. So it was definitely with, the advent of YouTube, and me just realizing that, this is a great type of pop music that I just wanted to learn more and more about.
What are some of the other K-pop acts that you'd recommend, again, for people who maybe really only know Psy?
Right. And, I think a great way to start is with some of the acts that have also charted on the Canadian Hot 100. Some people might have heard of BTS. It's a 7-member boy band who's very popular right now, who have had a couple hits, actually, both in America and in Canada, with their songs. They had a song called DNA that hit the charts, a song called Mic Drop with Steve Aoki and Designer. They're great. They blend lots of different styles of music and different types of sentiments and feels and vibes in their music. There's also EXO, another really popular boy band who we're actually going to see perform at the end, the closing ceremony at the Olympics that are going on in South Korea right now. They're a 9-member boy band. They also do a lot of pop and different kinds of styles and feel-good stuff that is very entertaining. But we also can't forget about the girl groups. Blackpink is a very popular girl group. They have 4 members, and they've actually charted a hit single in Canada as well with their last song, As If It's Your Last. They're they're a little fierce, they're a little cute. They blend all these kind of different types of vibes and styles and whatnot in their music too. And yeah, these are just like some of the groups I definitely think you need on your primer.
Jeff, I also want to get your reaction to. I'm going to play a clip. This is Sotaji. Let's have
Right,
have a
Sotaji.
listen to this.
난 아유 입안을 그르고 그리는 누군가가 나를 떠나버려야 한다는 그 사실을 그 이유를 이제는 나도 알 수가
So that's Sotaji and Boys with a tune called I Know from 1992. Tell me about the
Yeah.
significance. Why is that group so important?
Yeah, it might sound a little dated to us, but at the time, that song was really, they call that song, and they call Sotaiji the group that kind of started K-pop as we know it today. It really, for the first time, was blending lots of different styles. There was, back then, New Jack Swing and, hip-hop were very trendy sounds, and he was the first kind of artist in Korea to kind of blend these different sounds, and they were the first group to kind of mash these sounds together and kind of created the formula for the K-pop we know today that does bring together all these different styles of music, all these different kind of looks, and try out different concepts of music and different things just to show the different sides of his musicality. And so that they sort of say like that's ground zero for K-pop.
Do you think, you mentioned there's been a few hits in North America, K-pop hits. What do you think it would take for it to really become mainstream here?
All it really does take is one song just to open, people's eyes. I think Psy, I think a lot of people would agree that Psy and Gangnam Style was it was an atypical type of K-pop hit. Psy he's known sort of as a funny man, and he's very entertaining and very, famous in Korea, but he doesn't totally represent the K-pop world as many people would know it, which is a very stylized, glossy, very choreographed and music-focused type of music scene. And, I think all it really does take is just that one, huge ubiquitous hit, almost kind of how we saw with Despacito and Luis Fonsi and Daddy Yankee and Justin Bieber, able to kind of bring back the whole reggaeton movement and especially Latin music movement to that, now Latin artists are collaborating with all kinds of artists these days. And I really do think all it takes is just that one song to really break through people's minds and get them into the idea that, great pop music can be in Korean. And a lot of the world already knows that. It's just a matter for the rest of the world to wake up to it.
Now, you've picked a song for us to play after this interview. Tell me, Blood, Sweat, and Tears by BTS. Tell me why we're playing this one.
It's from 2016, and the reason I chose it is because I really heard with this song just how much potential a group like BTS and K-pop in general really has in making just an impact in the West. I've always believed it, and I've always hoped for it, but I really, really felt this was almost like a breakthrough, eye-opening moment for me. It's very trendy. You hear those sort of Moombahton sounds in there. It sounds like something Major Lazer or Justin Bieber would have jumped on, and I think this is just a song that will, if you're interested in this song, there's lots more to hear from BTS and all the other great groups that are coming from South Korea.
Well, thanks so much for the chat, Jeff.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Jeff Benjamin is a K-pop columnist for Billboard, and so here's the tune he selected for us, BTS with Blood, Sweat, and Tears.
내 피땀 눈물 내 마지막 춤을 다 가져가 내 피땀 눈물 내 차가운 숨을 다 가져가 내 피땀 눈물 영원도 너의 것인 걸 잘 알고 있어 이건 나를 벌받게 할줄 Kisses and cream, sweeter than sweet Chocolate cheeks and chocolate wings But 너의 날개는 악마일 거야 너의 그 sweet 앞엔 비벼비벼 Kiss me 아파도 돼 어서 날 조여줘 더 이상 아플 수도 없게 Baby 취해도 돼 이제 널 들이켜 맞춤을 다 가져가 내 피땀 눈물 내 차가운 숨을 다 가져가 Money, money, money. Money, money. Money, money, money. Money, 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 money. Money, money, money. Money, money. Money, money, money. Money, 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 money. 아파도 돼, 나 묶어줘. 내가 도망칠 수 없게. 꽉 쥐고 나 흔들어줘. 내가 정신 못 차리게. Kiss me on the way. 수많은 배. 너란 감옥에 중독되게. 네가 아닌 다른 사람 from easy note. 알면서도 삼켜버린 독이들 손. 피땀 눈물 내 마지막 춤을 다 가져가. 내 피땀 눈물 내 차가운 숨을 다 가져가. Money, money, money. Money, money. Money, money, money. Money, 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 money. Money, money, money. Money, money. Money, money, money. Money, money.
So, what do you think? That's BTS with Blood, Sweat, and Tears, a little K-pop selection for you from Billboard's K-pop columnist in the spirit of the Olympics, which are, of course, captivating audiences around the world as we speak.